G'day and welcome to another big edition of the MCDFNL A-Grade Netball Show. Thanks to our great mates over the Bendigo Bank, great supporters of the MCDFNL netball and football and right throughout the other competitions that make sure you get around and support us. My name is Yeendy. I'm joined by the Operations Manager of the MCDFNL, Mitch. Thanks for joining us, mate.
Thanks for having me, Yeendy. Good to be back. Flicked Grace out of the chair again, but I'm sure she'll be back soon.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. So I know, look, if the ratings go up, we might have some contract disputes, mate, and you'll be settling in nicely. But we've got some, we had some great games on the weekend, mate, and some great games heading into this weekend.
Yeah, some massive games on the weekend. Games that made some differences to how the finals have now shaped up. But starting with Avoca and Trentham, competitive game here from Avoca. Trentham obviously going the season undefeated, so a very good side. Yeah,
and interesting with the Saints as well. They've lost their gun goal attack. Shana Ford for the rest of the year with an knee injury, which is a shame. We've often spoken about how talented the Saints are with 3 16-year-olds dominating throughout the season, so they've had to do a bit of readjustment there. They've also lost one of their other shooters, other key players due to pregnancy as well, so they've had to readapt, the Saints. And I think this result here is a reflection of how well they are going to go into the finals. Avoca are a very competitive outfit. They can never be ruled out at any contest. To get within 20 goals for the Saints, I think is fantastic for them, and I think it's a positive outcome for both sides. And more importantly for the Saints, they finish the season as minor premiers, but they also do so against a good side while trying to rejiggle their lineup heading into finals.
Yeah, look, Trentham, you're right. They've got a lot of young players and obviously a lot of depth in that side to take a 20-goal win over a side that's finished in 6th in Avoca, so good win by them. The next game we've got Maldon Campbell's Creek. Maldon, a bit like their senior footy side, just getting into the 8. That's
quite remarkable. It's a great story in itself. The Bombers needed a result to fall their way, and it did in heartbreaking circumstances for the Swans, which we'll talk a little bit about later. But for the Bombers to come up against a rampant Campbell's Creek is fantastic. I think also with Maldon as well, they have had a really good run in the back half of the season as well. They've really backed themselves in, and it was inevitable that they were going to be knocking on that door. They've not only knocked on the door, they've belted it down, and they're now playing finals, which probably 5 or 6 weeks ago might have been a bit of a pipeline dream and highlighted throughout the year. They won 3 of their first 4 games, and they kind of went missing. So for them to recover like they have is exceptional, and a credit to their coaching staff and players.
Yeah, so the Maldon Footy Club, they'd be celebrating in a minute, but they just need to focus now. They've got footy and netball just in that now, so they need to look ahead to this week and try and get a win. The next game we've got Carisbrook and Navarre. Carisbrook getting a good win here. Carisbrook, Harcourt next week, which should be a good contest as well.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. That is going to be a great contest. And look, I mean, this fixture dating back in round 1, Carisbrook ended up winning by about 60 goals or something like that, and Navarre didn't even reach double figures, which was a surprise given they were a powerhouse side for so many years. And Carisbrook just showing just how good they are. So a great win by them. Navarre, unfortunately, their last month or so heading out towards the finals has been a bit disappointing by their standards, and their finals campaign was sort of ruled out over the last few weeks. So Carisbrook, they've done great things. They've clearly been the second best side all year, and no doubt they'll be looking forward to seeing how things go heading into finals.
And the next one, not such a close game, but Denali getting a fairly comfortable one over Royal Park, setting themselves up for a big final series.
Absolutely, Denali been exceptional in season 2018. The way they've gone about things this year, they've been one of the most impressive sides, battling away. I think the hardest part for them is they haven't been able to beat sides in the top 4 to launch them into that sort of category, at least for most part of the year. If they had have maybe taken down won a couple more games against some of those stronger sides, they've been in the 8, and they were always going to stay in the 8 given their talent. But Royal Park have had a tough year, but for Denali, it's a good form that they sort of need to heading into finals, and look, they can only go up from here.
Yeah, and Denali, they got Maldon next week, so it might be the side they need just to get their final series kicked off. Similar margin in the next game, Harcourt Newstead. Harcourt getting it done pretty easily. They finished the season in 3rd, so they'll be pretty happy with that.
Absolutely, and I think all eyes will sort of turn to them with Carisbrook, a side that they faced only a couple of weeks ago. A bit of a fine-tuning there, which is fantastic. So Harcourt, they've been, I think, locked in the top 4 for most of the year, mate. So it's another day at the office for them against a Newstead side that struggle with a bit of injury and inexperience, but there's some good positive platforms for them going forward.
And as we touched on, probably match of the round here, Lexington and Natty, both clubs fighting for a top 8 spot before the weekend, and Lexington just getting up.
Certainly a game that could have gone either way on paper. I think the way the fixture was playing out is that even a loss by Lexington probably could have meant that they would play finals, and it just come down to what was going to happen with Natty. Unfortunately for Natty, they virtually trailed all day, and if memory serves me correct, I believe, and I'm happy to be proven wrong, but I think they were in the top 8 for pretty much every round of the year. So to slip out at the death knock is sort of heartbreaking for them. To go down by 2 goals, they trailed by 5 goals, I think, at half time. So it would have been better for them if they were 5 goals up and had to keep working it that way. But the Bombers won't complain; they'll absolutely love that. But for the Swans, they played finals last year, and I would have expected them to play finals this year as well. So disappointing for them, but well done to Lexington. A good challenge for them heading into finals.
Yeah, Natty, look, they'll go away in the off-season and they'll work hard to get back up the ladder again next year. So in the final game, we had Rovers and Talbot. Probably not much to say on this one, but Rovers now carrying some form into the finals.
Exactly. A team that probably is worthy of being a sort of top 4 contender. The reigning grand finalists have had an exceptional year. Talbot have had a tough year, but they've been able to get some positive results sort of later on in the back half of the year. So it's good for them. But the Rovers, their shooting is starting to get to some great levels now, and cherry ripe just in time for finals.
So on finals now, we look ahead to this week, and we've got a number of close games expected here. The first one at Princess Park on Saturday, we've got the qualifying final between Trentham and Maryborough Rovers. Both coming off good wins in the final round. Trentham, though, probably almost looking unstoppable at this point.
Yeah, I think so, but I still think that I know Shana Ford. The Shana Ford factor is massive here because when she's played most of the games this year, she's an exceptionally accurate shooter. You take her out of that team. I know the Saints have got the depth to be able to replace that, so that will be interesting. But how finals is a different game. This is a rematch of last year's grand final where the Saints were favourites going into the contest and they ended up winning that one. Rovers have been steady all year, and I see this probably going within 10 goals. I don't see this being as clear cut for the Saints as what previous results have suggested, but the Saints to win and it will be quite close as what it has been all year.
And over at Hedges on Saturday as well for the other qualifying final, we've got Carisbrook and Harcourt, who are also facing off in the footy, which will be interesting as well. But Carisbrook getting it done in round 4 by 10 and in round 14 by 6, so perhaps Harcourt's turn to get a win here.
Oh, I think you're spot on, mate. This is a big opportunity for them. The Lions have... It was interesting, they did face off a couple of weeks ago, and what sort of cards both sides were going to reveal. They revealed that we're going to see a really good competitive contest in this particular game. This fixture was sort of locked in for probably 3 or 4 weeks now, so it's great to see it happen. And if it's anything like their last few hitouts, I think this will be a cracker. I'd like to see Harcourt get up, but it's finals, anything can happen.
And moving over to the elimination finals on the Sunday, no second chances for these ones, but we've got Denali and Malden at Princess Park on Sunday. They faced each other just a couple of weeks ago. Denali doing it fairly comfortable, 43-17 there. Would you expect a similar margin here or a closer game?
Oh, I'd probably expect probably not as close as what some of the other games will be. As I said before, Denali have been exceptional this year, and they've been in some really good form. When they get that momentum going, they've got some stars in that lineup, headlined by Anna Leash, who won the Best of Fairest last year. She's been in great form, continued on with that, and I just can't see them getting rolled. I know Malden have done very well to get in the finals, but Denali have been the form side, and they'll just get the win here.
The second elimination over at Hedges on Sunday, we've got Avoca and Lexington. It was just 5 goals in it the last time they met. Avoca getting up by just 5. We'd probably expect another close encounter here.
Absolutely, mate. This will probably be the closest game of the weekend, and it's a game that could definitely go either way. Avoca probably got the runs on the board. Lexington have been doing their thing very nicely, but I just expect Avoca probably by about 5 goals, so it should be quite interesting, mate.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to this week's finals.
Absolutely, mate. We urge everyone to get down there and be a part of it. We've got all the finals happening at Hedges and Princess Park over both days, so make sure you get down there and support it. Just make sure you also support our friends at Bendigo Bank, who have been tremendous supporters of the competition. Mitch, thanks so much for joining us, mate. You've stepped up very well in the NETBALL hot seat, and we look forward to seeing what this round produces for us.
Thanks for having me, Yeendy.